get it. What's good, y'all? What's good, Real Talk Squad? This is Miles listening to Real Talk and Miles Johnson, where you know we always keep it real. Let's get straight into it, man. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that jazz. Subscribe, share with a friend, and share with a friend. Please, please, please show some love to this channel. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Let's get straight into this episode. All right. I gotta just give more analysis on the Eagles and this season. We have to. Um, I'd be lying to y'all if I said that I don't feel the same way this time of year that I felt at the end of the Eagles season last year. I'd be lying. It's called real talk, right? So you got to keep it a bean. You got to keep it real. You got to keep it a stack. And the most alarming thing wasn't even the loss. The most alarming thing that I saw was the fact that Jalen Carter missed a team meeting. But it's not about Jalen Carter missing the team meeting. It's the fact it got out. Why is it out? Now, I'm not blaming the Philadelphia Inquirer. I'm not blaming the reporter who broke the news. Jeff McClain is a great reporter. He's doing his job. He's putting food on the table. But what sense does it make for somebody on the Eagles staff, either a player or a staff member, leaking information about your young superstar defensive lineman not being in team meetings or being late? What's the point of that? How does it help the team? I don't get that. I don't get that. It makes no sense. I had somebody tell me in the comments, I made a tweet about it. I said, you can't do this. You have to keep family business in-house. Somebody said, it's not family, it's a business. Don't piss me off. Don't piss me off. Because if it's a business and not a family, by that logic, how is outing your young superstar defensive lineman, how is that helping the team? How is that helping the team? Carter hasn't had a good season as of this moment. He hasn't. He hasn't. So outing him and then putting him in a situation where all week he's going to have to answer questions about him being late to a team-related meeting, that's messed up. So he has to deal with that and a terrible loss and him not playing well up to expectations when you need the guy. It doesn't make any sense. You don't need that, and that's flat out disgraceful. It's shameful, and it shows this team ain't together. This team is not together. And the number one culprit is Nick Sirianni. I've held back from Nick Sirianni as of late because I've wanted to be like, you know what? I'm going to give the guy the benefit of the doubt. He's won some games. But when you really think about it, in his last, 9 games, he's won 2. That's a collapse. That's a collapse. I'm sorry, y'all. If Jordan Love did not play so bad, you're talking about a guy who literally is going to win that game in Brazil. He is. He's going to win that game. If Kirk Cousins wasn't so bad, the Falcons blow out the Eagles. They blow them out. Emmanuel Acho said something that changed my perspective on the Eagles. Vic Fangio is not bad. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. Like, he literally revolutionized the game. One thing Vic Fangio doesn't like to do is blitz. That's never been his calling card. He doesn't like to do that. That's something he does not like to do. But because the Eagles are so bad at getting pressure to the quarterback with just 4, you got to send an extra man. And the one time Vic Fangio blitzed, Darnell Mooney gets a 41-yard touchdown. So if I'm Vic Fangio, I'm like, this is why I don't be listening to y'all, and this is why I stick to my ways. So I would rather go ahead and let them go up and down the field and then do our best to not give them a touchdown, just limit them to field goals. I'd rather do that than send an all-out blitz and then get cooked for a 40-yard touchdown. Now, yes, Vic Fangio is to blame for Kirk Cousins running us down. Yes, on that last drive for sure. Because I don't know what the game plan was. Y'all are not guarding the sideline. You're letting them get to the sideline, get out, stop the clock, march down the field in 4 plays. It was a travesty. I'll give you that. If you want to blame Vic Fangio for that last play, that's cool. But like, we don't have the personnel to get to the quarterback. This secondary is not all world that you can rely on a suspect defensive line to be bad. You can't, like, this secondary isn't good enough for the defensive line to be that bad too. Because it's like this secondary, they need the defensive line to get back, to get to the quarterback really quick, and they are not. From Bryce Huff to Nolan Smith, I mean, Brandon Graham is the best defensive lineman, and he's 36 years old. Now, that's actually more of it's 2 things. It's applause for Brandon Graham because he is a legend. He is a Philadelphia all-time great. We do not win that Super Bowl in 2017 if he does not strip sack Tom Brady. But at the same time, if Brandon Graham is your best defensive lineman, your most effective defensive lineman in 2024, your defense is cooked. If Thomas Booker is more effective than Jalen Carter, Bryce Huff, Nolan Smith, Jordan Davis, your defense is cooked. And we're talking about multiple first-round picks, y'all. Multiple first-round picks. So, Clint, get these guys together. Get these guys together. I don't know if Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter, they're not in shape. I don't know what it is. Get these guys together. Because what I will say, I still believe in Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. I believe more in Jalen Carter, lesser to agree Jordan Davis, but I still believe in their talent for sure. Bryce Huff, I don't know. He could be a total bust, like a total complete bust, because he got 10 sacks in a contract year as a utility guy in an all-world defense. So I don't know if he can be that number 1 guy. He's shown no signs that he could be a number 1 guy and fill the void of Hassan Reddick. And speaking of Hassan Reddick, I trusted you know what? Speaking of Hassan Reddick, I should have trusted my gut. Because when we traded him away, I said that's not a good move when you're in win now mode. Now, granted, yes, if Hassan Reddick was going to hold out this year in Philly, yeah, that wouldn't have been a good move to keep, but if Hassan Reddick would have been open to playing out this final year in Philly, I would have taken that and let him walk for free. 100%. Because what, that 3rd round pick y'all finna get for Hassan Reddick, is that going to be a playmaker that's going to help you win right now off the bat, off rip? I don't think so. Chances are very, very low. And so what Hy Roseman did, he got cheap and he wanted to get over and say, let's go ahead and get a Hassan Reddick type of player who's younger and can have more upside. And what I mean by cheap, he didn't want to pay Hassan Reddick, but he was like, let me go ahead and pay Bryce Huff because he's younger. When the guy has only had 1 good season in a contract year, and Hassan Reddick has shown you for multiple years that he can get 10 plus sacks. Cuz has 27 sacks in the past 2 seasons. Like, what are we talking about? Talking about a guy, one of the most elite pass rushers in the game, top 5 in the game. I mean, he's right up there with Myles Garrett and TJ Watt. I know that they're above him, but Hassan Reddick ain't that far below them guys. He was our best defensive player last year. The only problem was Matt Patricia kept having him in coverage when it's like, dude, let him be best at what he's good at. That's getting to the quarterback. I bet you if Vic Fangio had Hassan Reddick, he would have utilized him better than Matt Patricia did. He would have utilized him better than Sean Desai did. Now, Jonathan Gann, he's shown that he's a really good DC, and that's why he got a job with the Cardinals. But Vic Fangio doesn't have the personnel to be great. So I can't really hold it to Vic Fangio too much because it's like he don't have the pieces. He don't have the pieces at all. Let's talk about this offense real quick. Y'all got to stop these narratives with Jalen Hurts. I'm going to say it again. Y'all have to stop these narratives with Jalen Hurts. It's getting disrespectful. It's getting nasty. And it's just like the narratives about LeBron James. No, I'm not comparing Hurts to LeBron talent-wise. I'm comparing how they're judged in this instance. So LeBron James, he is known for passing to teammates and giving them open shots for them to win the game. But in the event his teammate misses the shot, all the blame goes to LeBron James, and they say he's not clutch. But if his teammate makes the shot, he's the hero. That's the problem. But with Jalen Hurts, what do we have here? Jalen Hurts gets the ball to Saquon Barkley at his fingertips. Saquon folds, drops the ball, and instead of Hurts being the hero and being, no turnover game, he beats the Falcons. He was down by 5 points going into the fourth quarter. He's clutch. He's all this, all that. Now the narrative is he's a turnover machine. He's not clutch. He's not an elite quarterback. The Eagles will miss the playoffs. He's not that guy. He's holding them back. It's like, dude, if your man catches the ball, it's a whole different narrative. That's the problem. It's like it's a make or miss league. It's if the guy catch the ball, it's one narrative. If he doesn't catch the ball, it's another narrative. I don't like that stuff. It's the stupid sports narratives that have that are in sports that are convenient for what everybody wants to, have in their agenda. But I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to let other people do that the same way that they do that about LeBron James. They're trying to do that with Jalen Hurts. Kellen Moore, my man Kobe has told me that Kellen Moore ain't that good. He's a Cowboys fan. He might be right, bro. He might be right. In that first drive, did y'all know that Saquon Barkley, Dallas Goedert, and Devontae Smith did not touch the ball? That's a fireable offense. That's a fireable offense. I mean, A.J. Brown isn't in the game. So who else is there to go to outside of Saquon, Devontae, and Dallas? Kenneth Gainwell? Britton Covey? Come on, bro. And there was too many times in the red zone that we were getting the ball to Britton Covey. Come on, dog. Now, look, he had a fine game for his standards, but we got to get Dallas Goedert involved more. I still believe that Dallas Goedert is a top 7 tight end in this game, and he's got to be more involved in the passing game. I don't know why he's utilized like he's just some blocker, like he has no threat offensively. Like, come on, we have to get this guy more involved, especially in the absence of A.J. Brown. This is a clear time to utilize a threat like Dallas Goedert. And I get when A.J. comes back, Dallas Goedert is not going to be the focal point or as big of a factor, with A.J. Brown coming in versus him being out. But especially with A.J. being out, you have to utilize playmakers outside Devontae Smith. That's on Kellen Moore. That's on Jalen Hurts to spread the ball around to your playmakers. Jahan Dotson, 1 reception for 6 yards. The guy who I praised and I was like, first round pick in a new situation with a great quarterback, with a great organization. What are you talking about? That's going to be heaven for a first round talent. And he was just running cardio out there except for 1 reception. That's crazy. That's crazy, bro. Nick Sirianni. Are we sure that Nick Sirianni doesn't have any footprints on this offense? I got clowned for saying I don't want Nick Sirianni touching this offense. Miles, you hating. Miles, Nick Sirianni has won all these games. We have won games in spite of Nick Sirianni. We have. What happened in 2021? It was Nick Sirianni giving the play calling to Shane Steichen, and it was Shane Steichen's offense, and that's how we got the wild card. What happened in 2022? It was Shane Steichen's offense. What happened in 2023? Nick Sirianni played a part in the Eagles' offense. What's happening now? I'm hearing that Nick Sirianni still has some footprints on this offense. This guy is the common denominator. He's not good. He's not good. And what good NFL teams do, they see a problem and they fix it. Bill Belichick right there in the stadium. Bill Belichick is right there in the stadium. Hey, if you don't want Bill Belichick, I like Bobby Slowick. I like Bobby Slowick. I mean, hell, how the Saints looking, I might want to get Clint Kubiak. Let's see if he can be in Philly. And I would not make him just the OC. I would make him the freaking head coach. Because that's the problem when you have a head coach who doesn't call plays and doesn't do a good job of being a CEO. That's what happens. We're in it right now. We're in it right now. Nick's that guy, dog. Another thing that really pissed me off with Nick Sirianni. Apparently, Nick Sirianni did not address the team head on after that loss to the Falcons. That is a fireable offense. It's kind of like when you and your girlfriend are arguing and you hold your tongue. But it's like if you hold your tongue and then get back to it like a day later, 2 days later, it don't hit the same. It don't hit the same. You might have forgot some stuff. You might have been like, yeah, wait, what did I say? What did you say? You know, stuff kind of gets foggy. And it's not gonna hit the same if you address the team on a Wednesday, Tuesday morning. It's not gonna hit the same versus right after the game. Now, I heard that Jalen Hurts had a fiery speech, and it's like we have to overcome Nick Sirianni. Jalen Hurts has to become a better leader, not only in the absence of Jason Kelce and Fletcher Cox, but in the lack of leadership in the head coaching position. And I don't blame Hurts for not vibing with Nick Sirianni. It's a reason why it was reports that they're not clicking, bro. And y'all tried to say that, Hurts and this report, it's not true. They like each other, bro. Hurts know the real. He knows who's a turkey and who's not. He might not be from Philly, but he knows who's a turkey. And folks from Philly, we know who turkeys too. Nick Sirianni's a turkey, bro. It's a flat out turkey burger. And I stand by that. I will always stand by that. But I'm going to go back into some stats with this defensive line. This defensive line, this is my last point. This defensive line is all-time great bad. They can't stop the run. They can't get to the passer. Number one, they are giving up over 6 yards a carry. That's like 30th in the league. Let's talk about how they rush the quarterback, right? So they have a pressure rate of 6.7% through 2 games. Bryce Huff and Jordan Davis are the only defensive linemen on the Eagles who have played over 50 snaps that have a pressure rate lower than 10% through 10 games. Through 2 games. Bryce Huff, who is this big acquisition, is essentially not a full-time player. He's a part-time player. Yes, bro. Bryce Huff, the big acquisition this offseason, isn't a full-time player. He's a part-time player. And that's because Vic Fangio don't trust Cuz. You don't trust Cuz. But it's like he was a part-time player with the Jets. So what do you expect? What do you expect? He was a part-time player with the Jets in a contract year. So you expect a guy who is a part-time player in a contract year to be the number one guy and fill in the void for Hassan Reddick. That's Howie. What the hell? What the hell? Let me say this too. Bryce Huff and Nolan Smith have combined for three pressures in 2 games. Huff 2, Smith 1. The Philadelphia Eagles have a 4.5 sack rate. That's good for 28th in the NFL. They have a 13.4 pressure rate. That's 31st in the NFL. So again, you have a defense that can get to the quarterback, can't stop the run. It's not even on the secondary. I feel like the secondary does fine. Did Slay get cooked? Yeah, he got cooked. Did they do a bad job on that last drive against the Falcons? Yes. But overall, the secondary is, I think, B minus. It's around there. But the foundation is the defensive line. If the defensive line is like a D, we're talking about a bottom 5 defense, maybe bottom 3, and definitely right where we left off last season. So I'm telling y'all this because I don't have high hopes for the Eagles this season. I don't. I don't have high hopes for us. Now, it's like the only saving grace is the fact that the 49ers are injured. I'm not like happy that they're injured, but I'm saying like they're injured right now. That's a fact. CMC, Debo. The Lions, they don't look like no world beaters. They went to overtime against a Rams team that was injury riddled, and then the Cardinals stomped them. The Cowboys are the Cowboys. Um, the Packers, Jordan Love is out. We just beat them. I mean, look, the Buccaneers, the Saints, they gotta show me something. They gotta show me something. If the Saints beat us and then beat the Chiefs, they'll get my respect. But until then, I'm not getting them the benefit of the doubt. I'm just not. Same with the Buccaneers. I'm not giving them the benefit of the doubt. The Falcons aren't good. Our defense is just super bad. But I need High Roseman to make a splash. He needs to go all in and really get an edge rusher. I'm sorry. You gotta trade for one. You gotta trade for one. We're in win now mode, especially during a time where it's like Hurts and Brown and Smith, like they all not making like the most that they making each year. Like it's gonna go up. The cap's gonna go up. Like their yearly salary is gonna go up as the years go on. So this is a great time to get this most talent right now and maximize this talent around Hurts and this offense. But like this defense is gonna hold us back. All we need, here's my last point, y'all, before I get off. All we need is a defense to be top 15, top 16, and the Eagles are getting to the Super Bowl. I can guarantee you that. But the offense is at a point where it's like they can't make any mistakes. You talk about that game against the Falcons, you can point to maybe like 3 mistakes that they made. They weren't major, in my opinion. I mean, not kicking a field goal. I feel like you not kicking a field goal during the second drive of the game is not like a difference between you winning or losing. I will never believe that. Um, Even like the Saquon drop, that was a sell. He sold the crib. That was a big John. That was a big John. And obviously we win that game if he catches that ball. But the offense was able to go up and down the field, though. Like they were able to go up and down the field. And then we had a Devontae drop. So it was a couple mistakes, but they were minor compared to the defense. So the defense puts the offense in a position where they have to play a perfect game, definitely without AJ Brown. And so, like a lesser degree, they have to play a near perfect game with AJ Brown just to compete. But if the defense can somehow, some way, by miracle, please God, can be top 15, top 16, then yeah, the Eagles are Super Bowl contenders. But as of this point, they haven't showed you that they can be anywhere near a middle of the pack defense. And they've shown us that at best they're a bottom five defense. So those are the facts. That's what it is. And we gotta see if this Eagles defense and if Harry Roseman can make a splash, or if Bryce Huff can somehow find the problem, execute, and help us get to the quarterback. I love y'all. Real talk. I love y'all, man. Peace.